Good morning and welcome to the little apartment on the prairie. What's on my mind today is how we're really going to have to be coming to grips with kind of a new normal for a while. Life is going to change. It's going to continue to change. It's not going to be what we're used to. Let me turn off this light behind me and see if that's better. I think that's better. Things are going to be different than what we're used to. And it's going to take some of us longer to adjust than others. Some people just adjust to new things faster than others. Some of us get more anxious about change than others. But the number of things that are different are going to really vary from person to person. So if you've been living off-grid, where you have to go out and collect your water and, heat water if you want hot water in the house, and if you don't have electricity or whatever, you know what? Your life is not going to change as much as life is for those of us who are used to electricity and running water, and we may continue to have electricity and running water. Excuse me. But my point is, if you're used to growing a lot of your own food, if you don't go to the grocery store for much, it's not going to be such a big change that shelves at the store are empty because you don't go there anyway. But for people who are used to going to the grocery store once a week or more often and picking up whatever they want, that is going to change. It's going to change. Yesterday I was canning some veggie broth. See that there? Isn't that beautiful? That's the broth I made last week that I just now got around to canning yesterday. I had it in the fridge till now. Got 5 quarts, homemade. It'll be great for soup, or, I use it when I make chili, if I make some sort of stew. I figure I can just cook some beans and rice in it, and it'll give it more flavor. So doing some of these like food preservation things, a lot of people aren't used to doing that, and if you're used to doing it, you've got an advantage because it really helps you. Yes, Isaac's ready for his treat. It helps you really make the best use of the food that you have. You don't want to waste food. I'm probably more frugal and less wasteful than a large number of people. Getting a treat for Isaac out of the jar. But I'm being more careful now, because you don't know when you're going to be able to go to the store and buy more vegetables. You just don't know what's really going to happen. And so a lot of things that I do already or have done to some extent, I'm really being more deliberate about, more intentional about. I'm being a lot more careful about, like, not wasting any food. I've been saving, like, containers, like maybe a glass bottle that I would normally put in the recycling. I'm like, maybe I should save that because maybe I can use it for something. Because we're just not going to have access to all the things that we've had access to as easily as we've had access to them for a while. And we don't really know how it's going to be. And I read something really good this morning. A superintendent of a school district was talking about closing down the schools. And he said, if we've overreacted or done too much, we're never going to know. We're never going to know if people in our district, our school children don't get sick. We're never going to know if that's because we prevented it by closing schools or if it would not have happened anyway. We're never going to know. We'll never know if we could have done less and still had the same results. There's no way to know that. He said, but if we do too little or if we underreact, we're going to know in a big way and we'll regret it. And that really hit home with me. I feel like at this point it's better to err on the side of caution. Is it necessary to cancel all these mass gatherings? I think it probably is. But, if we do that and X number of people get infected in the United States, there's never going to be a way to know what the number of infected people would have been if we hadn't closed things down. But there can be a lot of regret if we don't take action and we get bad outcomes, And so I feel like in this case, it's better to just err on the side of caution and do what we can to protect people. And yesterday, well, I haven't posted it yet. I guess I'll post it today. But I did a video talking about the importance of community. And it's a time to, I think that community is really important because we can protect each other. We can help each other. You know, if you got your toilet paper and your neighbor didn't, maybe you can give them a roll. One of the things I've seen people on Facebook saying is, oh, I bet all those preppers are really having the last laugh now. And you know, I don't think that's the case, or at least people that I know that do a lot of prepping aren't laughing. I don't really consider myself a prepper. I tend to have a lot of food in the house because I can food. So at least at certain times of the year, I have a lot of food. Now towards spring and summer, I'm getting low on food because it's time to start putting up more food. But you know, that's not so much prepping as it is preserving food because I want to eat locally and I want to eat, you know, food that was purchased as affordably as possible and that kind of thing. So I don't really look at that as prepping, but however you look at it, I don't think that people are laughing. You know, I got hand sanitizer because I went and bought some 6 weeks ago. I'm not laughing at the people who can't find hand sanitizer. I'm kind of sad for the people that really are having trouble getting the things that they need. I mean, if you know, I'm not feeling that bad for people who didn't get their 5,000 rolls of toilet paper or whatever, but seriously, you know, I'm sorry if people didn't get what they needed. I encouraged my friends and, well, everyone who watches my videos to please, you know, get what you need while you can get it. And all of us, I think, are going to find ourselves at some point during this crisis without something that we need. And so, you know, I feel bad for all of us when that happens. And I hope we can help each other as much as possible. And I hope maybe we can kind of listen to each other. You know, I listened to people that I think knew more about this than I did when they were saying, you know, stores might be running out of things. I started canning water because people were explaining to me, look, the virus isn't going to infect your water or anything, but if a water main breaks and lots of people are off work because they're sick or they're being quarantined, it might take them a long time to fix it. And people, you know, I listened to people who said that. So we can help by giving people advice, and we can listen to people who might know more about certain things than we do. And we can help people by sharing what we have. Now, I'm not saying go out and give away all your toilet paper so that you have none. And I'm just using toilet paper as an example. But, you know, if you've got extra, share it. And if you don't, talk to people about what the alternatives to toilet paper are. I've been talking to some of my friends who have been talking about having trouble finding toilet paper in the store. And I'm like, you know, you're going to need to come up with a plan for what you're going to do if you run out of toilet paper and you can't get more, because that might happen. Hi, Sassy. You know, I came up with a plan for what I would do if I ran out of my medication and couldn't get more. God's forbid, because that's going to be bad. But it's a possibility, so I came up with a plan. So, you know, one way you can help people if you don't have something that you can share with them, and I don't have toilet paper to share with anybody because that's not something that I typically use anyway, but I can give you tips on what to use instead because, you know, I use the other things instead. So we can help in that way. And if we can just be really kind with each other and help each other, it's going to be hard adjusting to a new normal. It's going to be, I mean, you know, most people are used to being able to go to the store and get whatever they want whenever they want it. And in some instances, I'm used to that not being the case. Although in other instances, I'm still used to that happening. But, you know, like when I buy things seasonally, so I'm used to only getting tomatoes at a certain time of year unless I decide to buy some at the grocery store, which I don't do very often. So, you know, I'm used to not being able to get produce except at certain times of the year. And even then, I might think it's tomato season. I might go to my favorite farmer's market. They might not have tomatoes, or they might not have as many as I want. So I'm used to that, you know. If I go to the local farm where I buy eggs, where I get them from now, I email the lady and she lets me know if she has them, and we arrange a time for me to pick them up. But it used to be where I used to live, you just drove up to the farm, and most of the time they were home and most of the time they had eggs. But sometimes I'd get there and nobody's home, or sometimes I'd get there and they were out of eggs. And then I could either try going to another farm to see if they had eggs, or I could wait a day or two and try again. And so I'm used to that with regard to some things, but there are other items, you know, I'm used to being able to go to the store and buy Tylenol. I can go to the store and buy cat food. You know, those kinds of things I'm used to being there when I need them. And that may not be the case right now. And that's going to take some adjusting to for all of us. What things are you seeing kind of is adjusting to your new normal? Is it having your kids at home, not at school, or maybe it's working from home instead of going to the office? Let me know in the comments what things you're dealing with that are new for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you all have a good day.